in this video, I'm gonna show you guys how to win in 12 moves with the Chompowski attack, as well as dominating with white with the Chompowski attack with 70% win rate in your games. And it starts with pawn to d4. And now, folks, most of your opponents will respond knight to f6 or pawn 5. Let's go knight to f6 first, which is the most popular move among the two moves that I've showed you. So, folks, if they go knight to f6, we will just go bishop to g5, which attacks the knight and tries to pin the knight to this pawn and maybe this queen later on. What if they go knight to e4, which they might do because of this attack on our bishop? Well then, folks, we'll just go pawn to h4. If they do take, which would be tempted to them to take the bishop because of the fact that we are doubling our pawns, well, fear not, because after this other popular line, which a lot of opponents will play and will also attack the pawn on g5, we will go pawn here, pushing the pawn on g6. They cannot take the g6 pawn with the h pawn because of the fact that we can just take the rook for free. So, folks, they will not mostly do that, and instead they will take with a pawn on f7. So, folks, f7 takes the pawn on g6. We will just go pawn to e3, and we will just pawn to e3, waiting for us to activate our bishop as well as other development. Because if after bishop to e7, which is a natural developing move for an opponent, we will go bishop to d3, trying to attack this pawn. And now, if a lot of people don't see this coming, well then, folks, if they do some random move like this or just developing with the natural move, the fact we can just sacrifice our bishop. This is a check to the king. If they take the bishop, well then, folks, we'll just take the rook. And now we're breaching him with the rook with plus 2 points on the board. So, folks, there's no doubt you can just play this opening. And also, I recommend you to play this opening. I mean, look at the position. White is dominating already. But if they don't develop their knight, instead try to make their king safe and castle, well then, folks, there's another treat. Because after this, we will just go and sacrifice our rook on h7. And if they do take our rook, well then, folks, it's dead for them, because after the move queen to h5, you cannot take this, because your king will be taken because of the bishop, because the bishop is pinning the pawn. So, folks, they might just go here, and if they go there, it's all game over. We can just go bishop to g6, and after that, a lot of opponents will go rook to f6. And that, I will assure you, it's mate in 2. Because after queen to h7, check, the only square they can go to is king to f8. But, folks, not only that, we can just go here, and that's mate, checkmate already. So, folks, what if they don't do that and instead go for the best possible move according to the computer checking us with the king? We're gonna go just pawn to c3. If they go rook to f6, well then, folks, we'll just go do the same procedure. If they go here, we will just go here, check them again. They will go here, and we will just take the pawn. Well then, folks, if they go here, you get the option of this, which is bad. Because after this move, they will just take the queen back, and bishop to d3 is the best move for us, and there is no hope. Because after the queens get traded, a lot of people will go mistake here. Take the pawn instead, and after that, folks, going to be exposed. And if they go here, well then, folks, it's dead for them, because after we take the pawn, that's check, that's a fork to a bishop on b4. Well then, folks, if they go here, we got a very exposed king, and also not only that, we have took our material, and we have plus 1 point according to the computer. So, folks, this opening is so powerful that you can checkmate an opponent in 7 moves, apparently, and also 12 moves. And 12 moves, I'm gonna show that later, but now, folks, let's look at the other line, which is d5. So, folks, a d5 is the other popular line of the game. So, folks, what if they do that? We're gonna do the same thing, bishop to g5. A lot of people will maybe go pawn to e6, which is surprisingly popular, and we will just take the queen, and we will win a lot of games out there. But, folks, what if, folks, that doesn't happen? Instead, we get blocked by the knight again. If they block with the knight again, we just go and take the knight on f6. If they go and take with the pawn on f6, we will just go pawn to e3, and the same procedure happens. If they go bishop to d6, well then, folks, we're gonna go pawn to c4. We're just gonna do normal stuff, not kind of normal stuff, because another trap will happen over here. Because after pawn to c6, we will just go over here, knight to c3, and a lot of people in this line, after knight to c3, is that they will go here. And we will just take it with the bishop, and now we're pointing the bishop to a square on f7, which might detonate the king's death over there on that square. So, folks, what if they castle instead and try to make their king safe, which a lot of people will again do? We will just go knight to f3, and then after that, if they do pin our knight, which they might also we'll just go pawn to h3, trying to force our knight being taken, or maybe even just going forward. If they take our knight, we will just go here, and we're gonna go here and try to play normal chess and we still have the advantage after going rook to g1. And folks, what if that doesn't happen? Pawn to h3, bishop to h5 has a tricky trap in it. And if we go pawn to g4, attacking the bishop on h5, well then folks, they're gonna go bishop to g6. We're gonna go knight to h4, attacking their bishop on g6. They might go knight to d7, ignoring all of this is happening, but we still take. Because after we take, they can never take this because of the fact that the pin is there anyway on the bishop. So folks, they will take the knight on g6 with a pawn instead on h7. So folks, what will happen next is so mischievous, is that we will go pawn to g4, h4, and slowly we're gonna go aggressively on the side of the board. And we will go bishop to b3, moving back with our bishop, if in case our bishop gets attacked by the knight on b6. Well then folks, if they go here, which a lot of people will do, naturally move, and try to get this file and try to double up later on, well then folks, we're just gonna go pawn to h5. And if they go and take our pawn on h5, which they might be tempted to do because they undouble their pawns, well then folks, it is dead for them. Because after the move, queen to d3, which will be not taking the rook yet, well then folks, there's too many knights. Let's go in for the first line. So folks, they will take our pawn on g4, surprisingly, but of course, that is main on 1. But what if they don't do that? Well then folks, there's another line called pawn to g6. Well then folks, there's another line after that. Queen takes g6, and that is pinning the pawn. You cannot take the queen. The pawn cannot take the queen because this is pinned. And now, after king to h8, well then folks, we're just gonna take the pawn on h5, and that is a checkmate over there. It's even a ladder mate, which is insane and so disgusting. If I see you with this mate, it's unbelievable. Okay, so folks, let's move on with another line. f6, which is the most popular move yet again. We will go bishop to g5. And so folks, what if they go e6 instead? Trying to go here, trying to protect the knight on f6, but meanwhile, also getting themselves pinned on the queen. If they move the knight, we will just take the queen. So folks, they will not try to move their knight as best as possible, and this is coming later on. If they do something else like this, well then folks, that's a blunder, because of course, if you move the knight, you're gonna blunder your queen, and if you don't move your knight, you're gonna blunder the knight anyway. So folks, this is a very powerful trap after this line. And if they do take our pawn early on the board, we're just gonna take the queen anyway on d8. So folks, they cannot do that. So they might as well just protect their knight so that they... Well folks, we're just gonna go pawn to e5. Anyways, attacking that knight later on. If they go and move the knight, it's no longer pinned, so we cannot take their queen. But we cannot just trade the bishop. No, we're not gonna trade the bishop. We're gonna go bishop back to d2, which is the best square according to computer to go move back to with the bishop on d2. So if they go pawn to c5, trying to gain some more space, they will take the center later on. We'll just go here, and that is an attack on the knight. They must move their knight, and if they move their knight over here to the square on b6, we'll just take the pawn on c5, and that is an attack to the knight. So folks, can they just take the pawn? Well, yes, if they do take the pawn though, they might face the problem of this decision. Because if they go over here, you cannot castle anymore, and you're literally stuck there, and we're just gonna go and develop, and we're gonna castle early on. And they might not do that, and a lot of people does not do that, surprisingly. But what if king here? No! Why would they move her king? Now we cannot castle both ways now. Well, how about castles? Well then folks, there's another trap there. I'm gonna show you that trap right now. Okay, bishop to h6. You cannot take the bishop because of course the queen is pinning the king. And after that, if they go here, they might just blunder the rook. A lot of people will do that. And there is no... So folks, by the end of the day, if they do all the best moves after castling their king, well then folks will just win. Because after this move over here, bishop to h6, if they do the best move, this... we will go here and still do the best move like this, and they will just take. Well then folks, the other best move, the next best move is to go here by the computer, and we're just gonna win a rook. So folks, we're winning here. And we got plus 1.3 points over here. But what if they don't do that and instead doesn't get mated and instead go here? Well then folks, it's literally like checkers now. So they will weaken their dark squares. There is a weakness over here. Of course, the dark squares. We're gonna go knight to c3. They will go knight to c6 moment. But after on, we're gonna go knight to e4 and try to go here and go on this attack later on. If they go knight to e5, taking our free pawn on e5, they're attacking also our queen. Keep in mind that we have to move our queen back. But later, after they go bishop to d4, we will just go bishop to the we're actually gonna go bishop g5, which is attacking the queen. They cannot take the bishop because of course it's unfair for the queen to take the bishop and the queen will be taken. And not only that, they cannot go here, they cannot go here, they only can go here. Which leads to another trap of going queen to a3. And it is now crisscross applesauce for them. And now because of the fact that if they do a very hideous move, they will be checkmated early on in the board, like that. So folks, they might be careful here, but it's a scary position. I mean, we're just fully winning here. We got plus 2.4 points. And folks, this is how you win a game of chess with the Champkowski. Okay, so folks, there's another line here. What if they go and attack our bishop? Well, then folks, it's dead for them. There's another very, very deadly trap over here. Because after they attack our bishop, we're gonna go back with the bishop on h4 for a moment. And if they go bishop pawn to g5, we're just gonna go back with the bishop yet again because it's attacking our bishop. And if they go knight to c6, which finally is a developing move, they cannot no longer reach our bishop to attack it. Well then folks, we'll just go pawn to e4. We're gonna go pawn to e4. Seeing that we blundered our pawn is actually a good move because after they take our pawn, well then folks, we're gonna go queen to h5 and after that we're gonna expose the queen. And if we go knight to c3 and a lot of people will take another free pawn being greedy, well folks, that is not good because now we're gonna pin the knight on d4 to the king, to the queen. This is insane. So folks, what if they go pawn to ec5? We're gonna go bishop b5, attacking their king again. Well, the folks, the only square that they can go to and they cannot block, they can only go king to e6. And we're gonna go knight to f3. If they go greedy again and take the knight, well then folks, it's mate in 6. And a lot of people will just go here and now it's mate in 1. So folks, I can guarantee you can win a game like this. And so folks, those are all the lines of this opening. See you guys in the next video. And this is just insane. This opening, it can win in 12 moves. It can literally overwhelm your opponent too much. And also, it can also have some tricky tactics beside all of that. See you in the next video. Peace out. If you like to make me more videos like this, please subscribe and like. And see you in the next video. Peace out.